My grandpa was the poorest guy in the village, totally on his own, yet under his bed was a stash of top-shelf liquor and cigarettes. The weird part? Every so often, high-ranking officials from the province would personally show up at his door. Fine, come visit, but why all the fanfare? And every single time after those officials left, the next day the news would drop about some major case being cracked. I always had a gut feeling that whenever a case got solved, my grandpa had something to do with it. But he never let a single word slip. Thanks to Grandpa's mysterious connections, the whole family got to ride the wave. When my uncle's business hit a cash flow crisis, lenders were lining up to hand him money. I missed the high school cutoff by over 40 points, but somehow got admitted to a top school anyway. But Grandpa's abilities went way beyond that. When I was 12, the county planned to build a new road, and it was going to run right through our family's old house. All the neighbors eventually caved to the relocation office's pressure and moved out one by one. But Grandpa refused to give up the ancestral home passed down through generations. He was dead set on being the last holdout. The contractor on this project wasn't someone you could push around. When the soft approach didn't work, he drove 2 excavators straight to our front door. Grandpa saw what was happening, calmly picked up the phone and dialed a number. "Hey, Mayor Lou, someone's trying to tear down my old house, and what do you think we should do about that?" A few casual words later, and within minutes the contractor showed up with officials to apologize in person. In the end, the road made a big detour right in front of our house. When I was 18, I stumbled across 2 ancient books in the old house, The Washing Away of Wrongs and The Divine Compendium of Case Breaking, written by Song Chi, a forensic expert from the Song dynasty. The whole thing was autopsy diagrams. I was hooked. I grinded through both books like I was possessed. One afternoon, Officer Lee came bursting into the yard, drenched in sweat. I handed him a cold Coke, and he started talking between sips. "Your grandpa is a once-in-a-generation genius. Last year, the bureau chief offered him $6,000 a month. He didn't even blink." Officer Lee suddenly clutched his stomach and bolted to the bathroom. A photo slipped out of his briefcase, and like something came over me, I picked it up. A man in a suit, slumped in front of a safe, throat slashed wide open, blood soaking his white shirt, cash scattered all over the floor. Just as I got sucked in, the photo got yanked out of my hands. Officer Lee squinted at me and said, "Kid, peeking at classified material will land you in prison. But if you can answer my question, we'll pretend this never happened." Strangely enough, that actually calmed me down. I had a pretty good idea what he was after. Officer Lee got straight to the point. "All right, tell me, what was the cause of death?" I took the photo back and studied it carefully. I said flat out, "The fatal wound is in the throat. The cut has irregular jagged edges, clearly made by some kind of unconventional blade. If it were an ordinary knife, you wouldn't be here. Back then, there was a guy named Liu Si in New Family Village. What was the lowlife who did nothing useful? The answer's right there in the photo. Drinking, gambling, sneaking over widows' fences. We combed every inch of that scene. He drove his own mother to no weapon anywhere before he... The weapon is the cash scattered on the floor." He looked stunned, so I kept going. "A tightly wrapped bundle of crisp new bills has edges sharp enough to cut. After the kill, you spread them out. And just like that, the weapon vanishes. Worthy of being Lin Junjun's grandson. The old man always said the Lin family's craft was going to die with him. Turns out he's been training you on the side." Just as he was saying that, a familiar voice came from behind. I turned around. Grandpa was standing in the doorway. My whole body went stiff. Grandpa had strictly forbidden me from touching any of this, and had no idea I'd ever read those forbidden books. "Old Lin, your grandson is something else, man." I frantically shot Officer Lee a look, hoping he'd know to keep his mouth shut. But this clueless guy completely misread me. He not only spilled everything, he sang my praises to the sky. "You're giving him way too much credit. He just flipped through a couple of old books and that's it. Our Lin family has always lived by one rule. Stay out of office, stay out of power, keep your head down. Don't go getting any ideas about my grandson." After Officer Lee left, the air in the living room went dead silent. Grandpa sat upright in his armchair, and I stood there like a nervous wreck. "How much of those 2 books did you actually read?" All of it. Honestly, it went way past just reading. I could practically recite them from memory. There wasn't much else to read at home, so I flipped through those 2 books over and over until they were nearly falling apart. The second I said that, Grandpa's teacup slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor. "You actually mastered everything in those books?" "Pretty much, yeah." "Ha ha ha, truly worthy of the Lin bloodline. This is fate!" His reaction completely caught me off guard. I couldn't read him at all. I was bracing for a serious scolding, but it went the complete opposite direction. I only understood later how torn he must have been, proud that his legacy would live on, but terrified I'd end up walking the same road he did, a road with no way back. Late that night, Grandpa suddenly shook me awake. "Come on, I'm taking you somewhere." Curious, I followed along. We walked through the woods, dead silent, nothing but the crunch of leaves underfoot and the cries of some unknown animal deep in the trees. It sent chills down my spine. We cut through the woods and came out to a barren wasteland. I accidentally kicked something, looked down and saw a human bone, blackened from years of sun and wind. That's when it hit me. This was the infamous mass grave. Suddenly, a faint green glow drifted up all around us, swirling like spirits. At first, I thought it was fireflies. Then I caught myself. Fireflies? In a dead wasteland like this? This was what the book described as phosphorescent fire, will-o'-the-wisps, phosphorus from decomposed bones evaporating into the air. Even knowing the science, seeing it with my own eyes still made my skin crawl. Grandpa, what are we doing out here? Be patient, you'll understand soon enough. Grandpa stopped in front of a pile of rocks, pointed at the ground, and told me to dig. My stomach dropped. Grandpa, grave digging is illegal. Stop whining. This is called a field examination. Now dig. With Grandpa that firm about it, I had no choice but to get started. After a while, there was a sharp crack. The shovel hit something solid. I dropped to my knees and cleared the debris with my bare hands. A heap of dark blackened bones slowly came into view. Following the method from the book, I began assembling the bones into a human shape, piece by piece. As I put it together, something felt off. This skeleton was full of red flags. Nearly 6 feet tall, should have been a big guy. But the foot bones were freakishly small, way out of proportion. And even weirder, the arm joints looked like something that moved on all fours. This isn't a complete skeleton. It's pieced together from different bodies. Someone deliberately staged this to cover up the real cause of death. Is that all you got? You're right, because this isn't even a human skeleton, so go on. How exactly is it not human? Except for the skull, every single bone here is from an animal. The legs are from a goat, the pelvis is from a sow, the arms are pig 4 legs, and the spine is cobbled together from cat and dog bones. As for the cause of death, the break at the neck is clean. One clean swing. Whoever this was, they got decapitated. Ha ha ha, that's my boy. You caught all of that. Those books weren't wasted on you. Ha ha ha. The Lin family's got a future after all. But Grandpa, what is all this actually about? Grandpa took a long drag and slowly started telling me a story from 30 years ago. Back then, there was a guy named Liu Si in Liu Family Village, a lowlife who did nothing useful. Drinking, gambling, sneaking over widows' fences. He drove his own mother to an early grave before everyone figured it was the gambling debt that caught up to him.